Hi friends, this is Wendy Cranford for Pajama Crafter Stamps. I'm excited you're here with me. Let's get started making a cute card from the new release from Pajama Crafter Stamps. We are going to use the What the Krill stamp set, the Well Wishes stamp set, and the Oh Whale stamp set. We'll use the sharks another time. So I have sped up lots of parts of this video because this video took me over, or this card I should say, took me over 2 hours to make. You'll see why. So I used every single little stamp, almost. I think there's one or two I left out from the What the Krill stamp set. Inked those up in Hero Arts ink, stamped them down, and then we are going to color them. So I also used both of the whales from the Whale Wishes stamp set, and then we're going to use sentiments from the Oh Whale stamp set. So here I am going in with my darkest to lightest colors. I do color this very fast. I sped it up for you because this took me a really long time to color, and then I fussy cut every one of these. Yes, I did. I may win the award for craziest attempt at a card. I don't know. So I'm going to list all of the Copic marker colors that I used on this card. Let's see, I could list them below the video, but I'm also going to list them on my blog. So here I am coloring everything in and just trying to go with really bright colors. I decided to make a wreath for this card. Now, bear with me, the concept came from the idea of a coral wreath, R-E-F-F, but then I changed it to wreath. So I could just see these whales in a circular motion and just all the little bits and pieces from that What the Krill stamp set in a beautiful wreath pattern. So I colored the whales. I slowed this down a little bit because I wanted to show you I colored the whales with a W1, W3, W5, and W7. And then I went back in and I added little dots to the whales. And that just gives some texture to the whale. Here I zoom in so you can see a little bit better. That just gives some texture to the whales so that they have a little bit more interest to them. And I'm starting with my darkest color on the bottom of the whale and then going lighter towards the center, which kind of gives you that effect of a roundness. And then I'm going in and adding little gel pen dots to the top of the whale. You really can't see it here in the video, but in real life it's beautiful. I then took my W7 marker and went along the edges of every single one of those little fussy cut pieces just to make that white edge nice and dark. Now I'm going to take this background die and I'm going to add my Post-it, well, what is this, mint tape, to the edges, and I'm going to die cut this, and then I'm going to die cut a circle. And then we are going to do a really fun technique using press and seal. And I'm sure many of you have seen it, but I thought I would use that technique today. In fact, to be totally honest with you, it's literally the only way I'm capable of making a card like this where there's lots of little bits and pieces. I get easily overwhelmed by using, oh, sorry, here we're scoring the cardstock at 4 1/4, or it's a 4 1/4 and 11 piece of cardstock, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2. And I do get overwhelmed using a whole bunch of teeny tiny bits and pieces. So one of the ways that I combat that overwhelm is to use press and seal. I think it is just a wonderful technique and super easy to use. So if you've never tried that technique, I highly recommend it. You'll see it here in a minute. I'm going to just use my precision glue press and add glue to the back of this background die, and then I'm going to glue this down. Again, this is being used just to create some texture in the background. That's why I'm doing it monochromatic. So a fun way to add texture to your cards is to just do a monochromatic layer of a die cut, like a background die cut, and it just gives a little bit of appeal and interest to the background. If I would have had like a wave background die, I probably would have used that, but I didn't have one. So here I'm grabbing the sentiments that say, feeling under the sea, get whale soon. And is there really too many puns on one card? I don't know. I don't think there are. So I'm using both of these to stamp them in Versamark ink, and I'm going to treat this little die cut circle with my anti-static powder tool. It's the Cottontail powder tool. And then I am going to ink this up in Versamark ink and use white embossing powder and heat emboss. Heat embossing is one of my very favorite things to do. I just think it's such a cool finished look, and it's great on dark color cardstock like this. So here I'm using a ruler to just kind of try to get things as straight as possible, and frankly I just messed it up more because it stuck to my ruler. So here I am just kind of fixing it again, keeping my ruler kind of away and making sure everything's nice and straight. I'm going to go ahead and ink these up with Versamark ink, like I said, after treating it with my powder tool, and then we are going to stamp it. I will stamp this twice because I have this paranoia about not getting a nice, clean, crisp image when I'm stamping with heat embossing. And in this case particular, because it's a circle and I'm not going to be able to place this back exactly the same and stamp again, I really wanted to make sure that everything was stamped nicely. I'm going to use white embossing powder from Hero Arts, and then I'm just going to add it to the front of this, and then we'll heat set this, which I'm not going to bore you with because most of us know how to use heat embossing guns. Here is another little tip and trick for me. I love to use a microfiber cloth to wipe away any of that excess powder that remains. And now we're going to speed this video way up because let me tell you, friends, it took me 45 minutes to place all of this on this card. So I sped this up to 20 times the normal speed, and decisions were made. And then decisions were remade because I couldn't get things exactly how I wanted. So, that's how it goes. So here I am literally just placing everything in this circle. I'm either placing it on top of the circle or under the circle in a circular pattern. And it came out wonderful. I just absolutely love it. Here with the press and seal technique, I'm adding glue to anything that was supposed to be behind the circle. Then I'm going in and I'm adding dimensional tape or foam tape to the back of the circle and to the things that are hanging off the edge of the circle. Then I'm peeling it back up again, adding glue behind the whales and other pieces, layering it back down, and you just continue to do that. And then I had a few extra pieces I wanted to add in, so I did that. And then I have these beautiful little gems from Pajama Crafter Stamps, and I added those into my card, which finished it off absolutely beautiful. I love how this card turned out. I think it's so gorgeous, and I think it would cheer anybody up who wasn't feeling well. I hope you liked this card and enjoyed our time together. Click subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!